If you are ever to be successful with your wife in a happy long-term relationship, you must understand and master this one important skill. It is your ability to get close emotionally to your wife or girlfriend. Now, the best way to do this is to know how to show your vulnerability without being weak and keeping respect. And that's exactly what we're going to go over in today's video. Now, let me start off with a very powerful quote from the Gospel of Thomas. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. I would have to say, after 8+ years of doing this across hundreds of men, thousands of hours, and tens of thousands of hours obsessing over this, most men have this messed up belief that by showing their weaknesses or vulnerability or insecurities to their wife, she will lose respect. She will see you in this weak, pathetic kind of man that isn't strong. So we need to make it crystal clear the distinction between the two. So let's jump into the top 3 ways in order to do so. Okay, so let's take a look at this. There's 3 things you must know in order to make the distinction between vulnerability versus weakness, okay? So let's look at her biggest desire. As you can see from this graph right here, there are 6 core needs we have as human beings. Now, each individual person on this planet has different preference of the need for each of these, but we all have these needs. And for most women, they have 2 core needs that they want the most. The first is certainty. Because women live in this constant anxious state, they're not exactly sure about what to do. They're more vulnerable as we were evolving. They needed a man for protection. But other than that, there is the masculine to feminine polarity. What this basically means is that we all have different ways of seeing the world and behaviors we have based on this polarity. Okay, I have other videos talking about this polarity and how to add certainty and protection to your wife. But what we're going to focus on today through this topic is how to meet the need of love and connection. Now, a good way to know that your wife is lacking love and connection, other than her telling you directly, which, by the way, if she is, honor your wife because she's giving you exactly what you need to do. The most important way to recognize this is that when she gives you a criticism, all a criticism is a request in disguise. In disguise. So when she says, "You work so much, you're never home," what she's actually saying to you is, "I love you so much and I want you to be home with me." Now, for a woman, the reason why she doesn't do this is because 1, when she's upset, she won't say so in a logical manner. And 2, women speak indirectly. She's not going to tell you, "I want you to be home." She wants you to know that she wants you home without directly telling you. Because if she says in her mind, "I want you home more," it seems forced. She wants you to understand her needs. Now, I know your woman should not mind read you, but you must know how to read her mind, because if you are able to, you will understand her better than anyone else, okay? So here are some top signs that a woman is lacking love and connection from you. If she's watching more dramas and TVs, if she's going out more, if she increases her shopping, trips with girlfriends, eating more chocolate, eating more in general. Those are all signs of her trying to get more love and connection in her life. Now, what you need to know is that those are all a poor substitute with the connection you can give her. No other person on this planet can give her the love and connection she needs and she wants when it's you there with her in the present moment, looking at her in the eye, fully connected with her in that moment. That fills her up more than anything. And I know it's hard for you that when she criticizes and isn't happy, you want to escape, you want to avoid, you want to bury yourself in work where you feel more significance as one of the core human needs. But what you must understand is that every time that you pull away, that you avoid, you're depriving her of what she needs most from you, which is why things are so bad. Number 2, vulnerability is it's strength, okay? It's strength. Let me read a quote from Brené Brown. She says, "Vulnerability is the core, the heart, the center of meaningful human experience." Let me tell you something that I tell every man in my marriage mastery program. Right now, take the stance of someone who's protecting themselves. Your arms are closed, pulling away. Is this nonverbal body posture look strong to you or weak? Right? You're cowering away. However, when you open up your chest, your wrists, your neck, the most vulnerable parts of your body, exposed to potential harm, this is the most confident posture we can take. I want you to apply the same physical framework to your emotional framework. That by exposing yourself, exposing your emotions, you are showing strength. You are showing courage. But somewhere along the line, you were told that your emotions didn't matter. And I know that most men think if I tell her these things, she could take advantage of me, she can hurt me. But I'm telling you right now, if your goal is to have a good marriage, a good relationship, you must learn the process of showing your weaknesses, showing your insecurity. One of the clients I was working with in my marriage mastery program, he had a history of infidelity with his past wife. With his second wife, she was talking to a guy on Facebook. He recognized this and she was even talking about it. She was open about it. He started to get concerned and fearful that maybe this guy had something that he didn't have, that she was getting closer to him, that she would leave him for this guy. Now, 99 times out of 100, what he would normally do in these situations with his first wife is he would shut down, he'd go watch porn, he'd close off, right? He put a wall up. But instead, he understood this concept. And he chose instead to go against the way he initially felt. And he opened up to his wife. He said, this is really hard for me, but when you talk about this guy, I feel a little bit insecure that you like him. And it's hard for me to say this, but that's how I feel. He said she went like this. Wow. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I totally understand how maybe you could feel that way. First off, he's gay, and second off, even if he wasn't, I don't see him that way. By exposing himself, by putting himself out there, he gave his wife the opportunity to meet his need, to make him feel comfort, loved, connected, and significant, and certain. She met many needs by him opening up. Have the courage to share your own story. Number 3, who told you? Working with one of my other clients in the Marriage Mastery Program, we have an onboarding call with every man who comes into the program. I get on a call directly with him one-on-one for a full hour, and we assess your situation. By the way, if you want a chance to join that program to improve your marriage, to make it better than it was ever before, go ahead and set up a call with me down below by clicking on the link. There's only a few spots available each week with our marriage evaluators. Make sure you are fully committed. Now, this guy came in and told me, and I'm a stickler, like I'm very aware of the language men use, or people use, that shapes their reality. Right? And so what he said to me when I was talking about this concept, he was recognizing, he said, Josh, one of the main obstacles I have is the emotional connection piece with my wife. And I asked him where that came from, and he said, well, yeah, men just don't do that. Men just don't do that, right? So I thought to myself, this is what I told him. I said, let's draw that out. So this is what I drew out for the client, okay? So be up here stands for your belief. Now, your beliefs are in your subconscious mind. Maybe they're conscious to you. It's a good thing if they are because you can recognize and change them. But your internal beliefs reflect your external world. Your subconscious programming, your software, produces the results you have in this world. Because he has to believe that men just don't do that, and he is a man. Therefore, the stimulus, what happens in reality, right? The stimulus right here, his wife is seeking connection. She can do so directly and verbally, which most oftentimes women don't. Most oftentimes, it's through criticism. She feels disconnected with him. Now, if he has the belief that men just don't open up, his emotion when she is seeking connection is fear, withdrawal, and avoidance, okay? When he feels that emotion, I said, what are you thinking when you withdraw, when you avoid? He thinks, she's frustrated, right? He said this one actually, this one is probably one you can connect with. I just can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And when he feels like he's not good enough, I said, how do you behave? What is the action that I will see when you are thinking that thought? He said, Josh, well, I escape into work. I go away. I avoid. I walk away. I said, I can't deal with this. And I said, what is the result when you do that? He says, more disconnection. And how do you feel? Empty. Worthless. All stemming from this belief. And I said, what if we just switch this to men do that? Or I said, real men just do it. All right? Real men open up. Real men expose themselves to potential pain. What would be the emotion you felt when your wife is coming to you? He said, openness. I feel motivated. I feel present with her. I said, what would you think? What would you think if you were feeling that way? That I'm ready to help my wife. And I would be there for her. And I would listen. He continued on, and the result would be more connection. I want you to understand that you have some faulty beliefs, that someone told you, whether your father or society tells us men this, that you cannot open up, you cannot show these insecurities. But when you don't, your wife feels disconnected. And when she feels disconnected, you lose everything. If you need help, you know I can help you. I'll see you in the next one. Smash like if you like the video, by the way, it helps out.